coordinator for the Amman Foundation network in the United Kingdom, and that's why I have the huge privilege of opening this public event this evening. It's great somebody can turn that. All I'm going to do is introduce two people up on the panel. We're actually going to run the show this evening. First, Professor Simona Talani, who works here at King's College in charge of political economy, international studies, international economy, thank you, who will be moderating the Q&A a little bit later on. And to her left, Anna Stakawi, who is Programme Manager for the Young Arab Voices Programme on behalf of the British Council. Young Arab Voices is a programme that's been run in partnership by the British Council and the Amman Foundation for the last 3 years, funded by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office, and has been enormously successful across North Africa and the Near East. And we have panelists this evening and also people in the audience who come over from, I believe, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, and Jordan to speak to you and to give interventions from the floor. So I think the format is that Anas is going to lead the panelists through some opening presentations on a number of themes to do with tonight's topic on social change and alternative methods and alternative means of social change. And then we will open up the floor for a public question and answer discussion. So thanks very much. I hope you find it interesting and that you can stick around and drink some dinners and chat. I'll pass over to Anna. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much for coming today. And as Richard was saying, Young Arab Voices is an initiative to help young people in the MENA region to articulate their voices, express themselves, and kind of be part of the conversations about what happens next for their countries and for their region. And I'm sure, like all of us, you're very tired of the term Arab Spring, and very tired of the term Arab uprising and revolutions and all of that, and so are we. And when we were trying to prepare for this session, we thought that, what do we mean by tired? But actually, we're physically tired. People are physically tired to go to the street and demonstrate, and economically tired, because I think this has affected the people of the East in many ways, but definitely economically has become very difficult in the last few years. But also spiritually, because people are also looking for hope. They're looking to kind of more open, more critical societies. They're looking for social justice. They're looking for more opportunities for young people to kind of get work, get better services, to participate in decision making. So we argue that after 3 years, people are kind of losing hope of the traditional forms of demonstrating, and it's not taking them as far as they want. And we all know that this is a long process. Some people already know that. Some people already know that. So, what other ways and what other means are young people exploring in the region to reach their goals, to kind of achieve this social change? How do you begin? Some people have. Some people are really looking for an exit strategy. Some people are really keen to explore alternative means of reaching the change. And mind you, I mean, in Young Arab Voices we work in 6 countries. So we work in Egypt, Libya, Jordan, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Unfortunately, the Libyan participant couldn't be with us today because of the situation in Libya. So they were scared that even if they were able to come out, they would be stuck and not be able to come out. So these are 6 countries in the region where Young Arab Voices works, and these 6 countries are in a very kind of different stages of their development, their own kind of evolution and their own kind of change process. So when we talk about this region, it's very diverse and it's very different. And the young people who are with us today on the panel are not by any kind of ambassadors to represent the young people in their country. They're here just to share with you some of the examples that are taking place in the region in terms of social change and in terms of what other means that they're exploring culturally, economically, politically, and socially to achieve that change. So they're here to share with you some of the examples that they have been either personally part of, or that they have seen or heard or kind of exposed to within their context and within their countries. So we have Nana from Morocco and Lia from Nigeria. We have Nan from Jordan and Ahmed from Egypt. And in the audience we have also the other participants who didn't kind of fit around the table. So we're going to hear from them also in the Q&A, and we'll have also some very interesting examples to share with them. And we were preparing for the session. We looked at political kind of needs of social change that are different from civil disobedience or protesting or kind of police strikes or all of that. And we found that the main areas of the underground scene, as we call it, to introduce that session, the underground scene, kind of informal ways of social change. We find that even politically there are few examples that we can share with you about. And I would ask Kia to start to tell us about what other political forms of action we're exploring these seeking social change.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, right? I hope we're all doing fine. So again, my name is Kaya. I'm from Algeria. I think the main thing in political change and for social change and political change are the awareness. People have to be aware of what's happening in the political side. In my country, like most of people do not know what's happening. So most of people they just get out of the house, go to work, and then get back home. So we are the youth are leading CSLs, civil society organizations, and now we are. My friend is launching an initiative called Algerian National Youth Council that deals with youth intersectional policies development. So we hope that we can make a change when it comes to the political side. And also in Egypt, we have a good example of an initiative which is called Kabila, which means a tribe. This is also an initiative that simplifies political issues. It's kind of infographic.
We're going to share with you an example about some social policy analysis work that we're doing for education as well. But I would like also to talk about what we are doing socially. Unfortunately, we found after brainstorming that the political sphere is the poorest one in example, because you either go for it, the full way or no way, or kind of explore other ways. It's about social needs of trying to attend social change. And we have some examples that I'll start with from Egypt, and Ahmed is going to tell us more about that.
Hello everyone, I am Ahmed from Egypt. I'm just graduated in Faculty of Pharmacy, so I'm a pharmacist. About the social changing or initiative made by youth in Egypt for the social change. We have a lot of social initiatives. First, we have the most common way in Egypt is blogging, YouTube blogging. We have so many YouTubers and teams. They are making shows on YouTube. For example, we have the most common and the most distributed medium is called YouTube. They kind of sarcastic blogging. They bring the news in a sarcastic way. So you just, when you see the news, you are not sitting on TV and receiving the news. No, you are receiving the news in a funny way. Second one is Ata Banana. It's a YouTuber that currently right now is outside Egypt, so he's talking free. He's talking about the events happening in Egypt in a way that's so fun. He was recognize in the revolution in the Tahrir Square. Was his first videos, and then he spread like fire in the house. So now he's so famous. Another thing is Al-Shahana. It's a YouTube show. It's kind of informational YouTuber, kind of comparing the events that happened before in the countries or them with the events happening right now. So when the young people watch this video, they recognize that what happened before is happening again. So we just watch the fault that the previous people made and we try to avoid it and try to make your six work out. So this is what we have in social media. Yes, there are videos on YouTube about 1 million.
Hello, I'm Hidayat, 21 years old. I study in Nigeria. Okay, I would like to talk about politics. So, in our country, we're not able to talk about politics really, because you either go to jail or you got punished. So, we are the only people who are able to create some rules so they can talk about politics in a way that no one other than them can understand what they're talking about. So they can talk about politics freely, they can post and publish things on Facebook and on the internet freely. That's it.
I think there was a good example from Egypt. Was it Ahmed? Sorry, Omar, do you want to?
Yes. Whenever people wanted to refer to what happened in Al Square, they would add Al there before. So they would create a picture that was clear with 16 equals what. And then you would understand this person is referring to what happened in Al Square, which is 4. Another way is the leader is called CC, and that means that literally translates into Mahmer, which is C in English, which means Mahmer. So when you want to talk about, we want to like Mach said so and so. What do you guys think of this? Or Mach is always watching you. That's how discuss politics.
And also another way, you guys want to tell us about last week's words.
And another social example is the social charities. And for example, in Morocco we have a national committee of human rights, and we work with women in prisons, or we also we have children they don't get education or healthcare. And our newest project is the clinic juridic, which translates to law clinic, and in the universities. So we have students and their professors and a committee of lawyers, and we help people that can't afford a lawyer to actually get a law help and to get to actually even know their rights about something. Like if you have a problem and you don't even know your rights about it, who you gonna ask? You go to a lawyer, and lawyer costs really expensive in Morocco. So we create this clinic which actually came from England and America. This is an English concept, and we are using it now in Morocco. And there's also churches like this, which is basically I don't know how to say it. Orphanage is an orphanage. It's very known in Morocco, and it's all over the kingdom. And in other countries like Tunisia, they have a culture for citizenship. And in Algeria, they have Smile Association, and this is a special association that's specified in children's rights, because we have really a problem in this area of Tunisia and Morocco and Algeria for children. They still make them work, or they still don't have enough rights. They don't go to school, they don't have health care, and besides the abuse, it's really not in the level we want it to be. And that's it. That's like the main examples I have about charities. Thank you.
Would anyone also like to add anything in terms of how the NGOs are working in the region around kind of instigating social change? I mean, we covered, I think my point is more about how the charity sector is covering some of the services and reaching out to people that are left out. So, how do you see also the role of the NGOs in kind of stimulating social change?
In Egypt, we have two major charity associations. First one is the Lisan, English Congress. This was started in 1999. It was like a youth movement for just a campaign of young people trying to get this happening. Now it's got the mainstream. They are having about 1.5 billion. They have over 250,000 volunteers in all Egypt, and they are now trying to get outside the other area. They have about 31 activities belong to this charity association. They are caring for blind people, deaf people. They are caring for children. They giving kind of health insurance to the one who can't afford it. They are the needy people and poor people are trying to get them a small project that they can live from it and they can find themselves. Another example is Sunat Hayat, Life Acres, also started as a youth movement. Now they have about 25,000 employees. They work with about 38 organizations in all over Egypt and all over the governments we have. By the way, I'm from Egypt. We are the most poor place in Egypt. They have worked in over than 1,800 villages, poor villages. That's it.
Also, one of the other line of thought that we were talking about is how the economic sector could also contribute to social change. And we all recognize that many people attributed the high rate of unemployment in the Middle East actually as the spark that started everything in 2011 in Tunisia. So the unemployment, the increasing number of young people who find themselves out of the job market, and this is quite an important issue where it could actually really dictate how the future of the region is looking at. So when we talk about examples and ways of how people can introduce that sector to social change, we came across very interesting entrepreneurial models that are happening in the organization. Even though if they were starting at a small scale, but they have a lot of potential to accommodate so many young people more in the job market. And the I'm going to start by taking us an example from Algeria, which is basically implementing
even investors and private artists. So what do? They pitch an idea and they work in it. They work on it in groups. So after the weekend, on Sunday morning, they present their ideas and people invest in their ideas. People who have money or people who want to start small companies. So this is really economical change in the underground way.
This is like a dragon and kind of proposals, and it's kind of really increasing very, very quickly vision. We have a similar example from Jordan. So I think it's more
There's an initiative that's called TTR, which stands for Thursday Technological Initiative. Okay, it brings the Arab youth who have ideas and projects, creative ideas, okay, and they gather them and bring investors who can invest in their projects and who can support them financially. And they select the most creative ideas and projects among them all, and they invest their money to help them because unfortunately, we're not supported from the government to do any project.
This model of kind of entrepreneurship is not only economic, there are so many social classes that are being also kind of funded in the Arab region, and mostly by also foreign investors. We also came across a very interesting field of social change, which is culture. And something suggested that what we're doing in Young Arab Voices is some kind of an alternative for social change, because kind of giving a platform for young people to kind of speak up to raise their voice, which is not available in the past. And I was really proud of doing that, because we think that this is kind of the least that we can do in terms of scaling and providing opportunities for young people. Also, we came across a lot of examples around arts and culture that we try to share with you. And so that's supposed to start with our story examples. Would you like to start with this?
I'd like to start with music. I want to start with saying that the underground methods are not something that happened after our spring. It's something that's been happening even before. So, music studies and Ahmed is going to speak about after our spring. In Morocco, we have a group of musicians. They're called Nasriyun. They basically are the Beatles in Morocco. So they're like really young. And we had a period of time during Hassan, during our late king. That was really, really tough, and we had the civil war, and a lot of people died during that period. And they spoke about it, and they went to prison and they were punished for what they were saying, because the lyrics were very politically driven. So, they're not the only artists that were at the time. There were others, but they left the country, so they would escape the punishments. And also, so now it's
And for Egypt, we have so many underground music bands. The most famous one we have a band called Professor, which in English is called Professor Leila, which resembles the society. Society try to stereotype everyone the way you are thinking, the way you are feeling. So this band makes songs and music that express the feeling that we have in their music. They are not so oriental or so Western music. They are mixed between them. They have lots of singing songs, and they recently produced their album, their first album, called Color, English in the New. It talks about the Indian this happened in Egypt, and the problems that the people have. They also have the title of the artist for the international level, and they were awarded by the UNESCO in 2011. Another example is Kairoki. It's a word that's related towards Cairo, which is our capital, and karaoke. So, which they make a mix between karaoke and oriental way of songs and music. They are very popular in Egypt. They started underground, and after the revolution, they were very famous. They have many songs that we were singing in Free Square in the revolution. One of them was Soda Korea, the voice of freedom. Mahmoud Zaid, who was the leader. Every Gnaha, release, Rains, yes. And recently we have they made a song that called Yami that also they refer to the case. We have two other bands. We have Western yes. And we have a rapper called Zach Sound. They are, you can call them the revolutionary rapper. All of the songs are talking about the revolution, and recently they made a song about the things that happened in Gaza. So
I think ask a bit about using rap as a means of exploring a lot of the important issues in the Egypt. And this is not only just Egypt or Morocco. There is also a very important scene there for rap, and they're exploring the most sensitive issues about all the sectarian division, addressing that with rap and having increasingly so many followers that are keen and interested in that. So this is very hard to control because it's all about symbols, it's all about clothing, and I think people are finding a lot of emotion in this kind of art form to express themselves, and it's hard to put kind of censorship or control using social media as we were just earlier on with music and with different art forms is really finding kind of a lot of attention from young people who kind of are tired, as we said, from the followers of testing or revolting. Can you share some examples about fashion?
So, fashion is very quite popular in my country. Basically, it's a group of people gathering in the street. It's like street theater. So they present something like, for example, I want to talk about human rights. So me and, for example, my friend Ahmed, we come to the street. So he pushes me in the wall and he shows me, and we stay like that for like 10 minutes. It's like acting, but not quite acting, or not moving. This is a flash mob. So what does it deliver? It delivers a message. Like we have an association in my country called Akhlaq Medina, ethics of the city. So they are using flash mobs to deliver messages, political messages, ethics messages on the environment, and everything. So it is actually making social change.
Comedians also deliver so much messages to the youth, especially whether on TV shows or on YouTube channels. They try to deliver the political and social ideas by sarcasm and some comedy.
This is indeed in Egypt, I think, one of those fashion examples, because as we use it, I don't know how many of you have heard it, it was kind of one of the really most growing senior people in the last couple of years. So comedy is kind of finding also a lot of followers because through sarcasm, through comedy, you can not only criticize the government, criticize the society, the traditions and the norms. I don't know if you also want to share any more examples we have. I think we have also from the audience, from the rest of our participants, they have taken up with a lot of examples. So it's also open the floor to that before we take some questions. If you're fine, Professor. Yeah, I think I'm just to summarize, and then I want also our colleagues to share some of the examples in the political, economic, social, and cultural areas. I think what we're trying to say is that these are some of the less known areas of the young people working in these at the moment. All that you can hear about is the wars and terrorism and all of that. But to be honest, I think young people are struggling, are going through our potential in different ways. Racial desires and social change that they wanted from the beginning. African, summarizing in Egypt, they wanted bread, justice, and freedom. What do you want in Tunisia? Somebody?
Also, means water and bread and mineral.
Yeah, so I think these are kind of are lost in these messages that we're getting, whether in the West or elsewhere. What we want to do is to echo these other forms of struggle and how the young people are expressing themselves and trying to attempt to change their societies and improve their countries. But perhaps are less known, perhaps are kind of scattered around, less kind of known in the media. And what we want is to kind of discuss with you, first of all, how can we scale them up, how can we make the audiences know more about them, how can we engage the youth here with the academia and the social media, how can we make these things a little bit more amplified, a little bit more relevant, and so that the young voices are kind of better heard. Yes, maybe the protests on the streets are stopped, reforms are still continuing. So I'd like to ask our other participants from our voices also to quickly share with us some of the examples that they haven't necessarily mentioned on the panel. And again, it's not to represent all the youth in the world. We're sharing some personal examples, some specific country examples, just to show you kind of a taster of what's out there. So if the rest of our participants also can do any of the remarks.
Yes.
Please come and share. Halo, would you like to start?
Take it out.
I just speak up. Can you hear me like this?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I'm Helen Bishi from Tunisia, and I would like to point at the importance of filmmaking, which is a movement that is thriving in Tunisia. Because from my own personal experience, I have a friend, he's called Yusuf Ahmad, and he makes documentaries and reports about issues. For example, he made a film, it's called Condamné à l'espoir, in French, and in English it means Condemned to Hope. And this movie is about a family in Tunisia who struggles with the fact that their son left for Syria to fight with the revolutionary forces. And this is a phenomenon that is quite frightening in Tunisia, because more and more young people are just leaving their own country and going to fight for another one, even though Tunisia is in desperate need of help from its own youth. And another example is a movie which is about a man who walks around in Tunisia, and each time he sees, for example, girls that are wearing miniskirts or something really exposing, he cuts their skin or their faces. And it's called Shabbat, and they made a movie about this horrible phenomenon. This is thank God not something common, it's just a one-time thing. But we can see that here the underground is moving to bring to light important phenomenon and events that I would not have heard about without these movies. So this is what I was
My name is Malik, I'm from Jordan. One of the examples of alternative ways is storytelling. This year we start creating stories from the Syrians and Palestinians refugees camps. after the Syrian revolution, we developed the stories of the refugees during the war and during their immigration, first immigration to Jordan and Lebanon. And we have a festival happens every year, and this year was the 10th anniversary for it. Its name is Hakaya Festival, which means stories festival. Stories festival. It has a very big reach out in Jordan. We have different shows in different governments around Jordan to take people through some very professional storytellers from all around the Arab countries. We have from different countries, different storytellers. They take the people the stories that they hear by their ears from the mouths of those refugees, about their struggles, about their pain during this procedure of being immigrants, mostly from their countries. And it had a very, very good reach out with people, and we made a survey after that, which we found people who was very empathetic and very sensitive with them. That's it. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to go for the approaching side of spring, Arab Spring in Egypt, and it is I'm going to go through two examples of oppression that came after the Middle East Spring, Arab Spring. The first one is coming from the media side, and the second one is coming from the art side. So from the art side, it was a festival that was a monthly festival taking place in one of the big squares in Cairo, called the Adin Square, nearby one of the biggest palaces, back to the royal family. So the festival is called the family then. The family then is art is a square. The square is art. So that festival took place for the last few years, regularly, monthly, until just 2 months ago, and then they stopped it. So when we asked, why did you stop it? And they said, officially because it takes place in front of one of the most important palaces in the whole country, so we're just going to stop it until we find another place. And we can let you know later, very soon, where it's going to take place. But the message is coming through to say that this is not going to take place again. But what's the idea behind the family and the festival itself was taking place in cities, in the open space, and everyone was coming just to share his talent. Speaking, acting, singing, politically, economically, coming from anywhere in Egypt, and he comes to participate. So that stopped, and that's part of the very bad side of so-called spring, which is a hidden spring rather than foraging spring. The second one is the one from the media, and the one that Anas has just mentioned, the Best News show that took place also for the last couple of years, and the show was called El-Barnamij. El-Barnamij in English is the program. So he used to statistically just talk about everything in the whole country, about president, about minister, about judge, about artist, about anything, in a satirical way, to give the message. Something exactly like John Stewart. We even used to call him the Egyptian John Stewart, and he had an interview with John Stewart in the US, and was filmed, and it was a conspiracy in the whole of Egypt that is he Egyptian, is he good, is he a spy, whatever. Until also, and the guy, he actually a doctor, he's a surgeon, and he with a friend, he funded the whole show, and they rented a big theater in downtown of Cairo, and they repainted the place, decorated the place, tickets, and funded every single thing, the whole show, and until we found in the house, the TV house, and he kept moving from house to another, about 3 or 4 months. Islam. Then people started to ask, what happened? Why did you stop him? You used him. He was the voice of you satirically criticizing everything in the whole country. And he helped you guys reaching this point. What happened? So the message again that he stopped completely. So before that he stopped and moved from this channel or this TV to another TV. And then he decided, I don't know if it's right decision, wrong decision, but it can be a wrong decision, that he decided not to move to another Egyptian TV. Many TVs around the region has asked him to come, and we welcome you to come and show or place. But he insisted to go Egyptian, and he stopped. So why did he stop? Because nobody wants to listen. Not nobody, regime or people, high-ranked people or whatever, ruling the country. They don't want to listen to people criticizing themselves, where they actually, in the first place, it came through the criticism idea. Before that, people criticized how regimes were happening or where it came and how things are happening in the whole country, but now nobody wants to listen to exactly what is taking place. So that is one of these are two examples, and I want to take the time for them. So, thank you.
Okay, so it's very easy now. We go into the half an hour Q&A. So anyone who wants to make any comments, first identify yourself, so your name, where you're coming from, and then obviously ask the questions or make comments. And after the Q&A, we have just a couple of minutes where a couple of words about two books which have been published by me and my colleague, Dr. Roberto Rocco, about the Arab Spring one and the one of Egypt, the other one. And then we have the reception. So anyone who wants to talk, please identify yourself. It's better if you come and talk directly from here, because then everyone can hear you. If you can say who you are.
My name is Humanities. I'm leading the Middle East, Arab however, I do belong to a collective body which inhabits such lands. I'm a Muslim collective body. So I'm quite interested actually, because I've looked at all your accounts, they're somewhat interesting. I have one question really, I'm slightly agitated as well, in that it's quite humorous that we're presenting sort of arts and sort of karaoke and poetry to affect sort of what one could say is a very deep issue, ingrained perhaps in the political system. I don't want to burst any of your bubbles that you're entering with, but I fear that I might put a bit of pressure. So my question is, do you think the youth who are full of energy and who are known to be the forefront of change, should they be focusing more on, say, the deeper root issue, such as the system which rules us, the ones that still talk about economic capabilities and capacities for the rulers at that position, stooges like the bar and or do you think we should carry on with trivial matters like things?
I think it's right in a way, this couple of years ago, but please, yes, please.
Thank you very much for your intervention. It's a very interesting question. But I think we are talking about alternative methods. So we're out of the context of just evolution and uprising, because we have that, we can talk that. But I think these two things, physical and really, uprising, goes hand in hand with some kind of intellectual and also artistic revolution. You see, because these things started even before the revolution, and they touch the core of youth. Okay, we can fight for our rights, but if we didn't get to that with the normal methods, we are looking for the alternative
We can protest, we can sit in, we can ask them to stop. They're not listening, they're only attacking us more. So we're faced with a choice. Do I fight back violently, or do I find an alternative method of change? And this is what the YouTube shows actually are. They're not just a way for you to express yourselves. They're an outlet for the protester, for the revolutionary to be able to tell everybody, I still exist, this is my view, and these are my news, these are actual real news, and I need you guys to listen to this to open your eyes. So the thing is, we'll try to change. It's not fast, it's not rapid as a protest or a revolution, but over the course of 10 years, if we focus our efforts on these, we'll be able to change the people ourselves so we don't have to change the system. The system change gradually, just the people change.
Talking about the youth, we all know that most thing that made the Arab Spring a success is the participation of youth. But after the Arab Spring, according to statistics in the Arabiya website, the reason that made the Arab Spring fail after the success is that they didn't hear the youth's voice when making the new vision. That's why youth got tired of going, tired physically and emotionally and everything, going and making a revolution. So they went and they are trying to find alternative ways, like underground ways to make a change, like we talk politically and economically and culturally.
I'll just say, my name is Sam Ryan, I'm from Policy, Palestine. I think the message here is a little bit unclear because we're talking about this revolution arts, and you also mentioned the success of the Arab Spring to a certain extent and then failure. What part of the Arab Spring is success? Libya, Tunis, Syria, which part was a success? I think it's the Middle East is in the biggest mess ever in the last 100 years. And I think we should be really, I don't want to be pessimistic, because I lived in Turkey and Jordan and Beirut, and I saw this mess, instability, chaos. Maybe we had a dictator, but the dictators had stability. And I don't feel, even in Egypt, you can't really express yourself. So there's no artistic expression.
Well, a lot of people say that Arab Spring has failed, and other people said it was a success. When I say success, I didn't mean in a general way that the result that happened after the Arab Spring. The point of the Arab Spring, why did the youth get out to this Maidan Tahrir and in Tunisia and protest? They wanted to take off that vision that exists in their countries. This is what I meant by success, and they did it. Hosni Mubarak is out, Humanities is out. That's the thing that I talk about success. But after this, like the next step, which is changing the vision, is a failure. That's why these reasons are happening now. These results are happening.
Thank you. This is great. I have two questions.
Can you tell me who you are?
Sure. My name is Erin, and I'm a postgraduate student at SOS. So the first question I have is, where in geographically located these countries are these movements happening? Are they coming from the main cities? Do you notice that they're starting to be, started in the small communities? Where are they happening? And then the second question I have was, have you seen crowdsourcing at all in your communities, and how have your friends or youth been leveraging crowdsourcing to start dialogue?
Can you define that concept? Because maybe some of the colleagues don't have come across it, or they don't use it.
So the little I know about it is that it started as a phenomenon to propose a concept, an idea for a fixed item, like the creation of a book or some kind of new invention or something like that, maybe like a film, and then you put it online and you describe how you want to create it and purpose and the market that you're creating it for, and then people will fund you for your project. And then there's a set of accountability reach the funding, then people who fund get a certain input into it, or they get some navigates into events and exhibitions, and something like that. So I've heard that it's starting to spread. I'm not sure if it's being used for this purpose. It'd be interesting hearing about it.
You said where did it happen? Well, I think the alternative media is playing like a huge role when it's doing all of this. It's basically happening everywhere in my country. Like when it happens, for example, in the capital, people are spreading it by social media. So then people start copying other people. So this is the way how it spreads. And can you please repeat your second question?
Sure. Just the concept of crowdsourcing or getting the funders to fund specific activity that someone's completed.
Yeah, I think there's a technical challenge for that. Because in some countries, I mean, the payments online, that means a virtual platform, which is not necessarily everywhere. And I think that maybe it's happening in a informal way because the charity sector informally in the agricultural communities is very strong. But it's not happening in this model necessarily that we're talking about. I don't know if other colleagues have different.
There's someone who's crowdfunding a photography project that's based in Canada. So we introduced this crowdfunding. Maybe this is the first time to also crowdsourcing.
Actually, the crowdfunding works with the enterprises and the startups. So they are not in this approach.
Can you speak up when you can? My name is Mira, and I'm from India. And basically, what do you think is the biggest issue facing you in the world? And how would you do it?
What are the biggest issues facing you?
I'm going to talk about Egypt. In Egypt, we have a difficulty in explaining what the youth want to the elder people, which are the one who control everything. So when you try to, even in your family or something, in my family, for example, my family from the side of my mother, they are anti-CC or anti-school. From the side of my father, they are with CC, and we have a integration in the same family. So when you try to convince someone with your idea or with your concept, they don't accept it. So the biggest issue we have in Egypt, and I believe in other Arab countries, Arab countries, is to have to accept the other opinion, or to have even not to accept, let him or let them to express their opinion. So the biggest issue is suppressing the.
I think that the area is larger than life. Okay? We suffer comparatively unemployment all over the Arab world. Okay, the human rights are not protected. We just we need the help of the UN, but our governments do not protect us, whether from wars or whatever, like Western countries. So we have a bigger issue here, like we don't have the basic essentials for living. So that's why people started the revolution itself. Okay, we don't have the smallest right a human can have. Okay, not all of us. Okay, I mean like the majority of the Arab world.
Since our nation, we want to actually stay in it, actually backwards,
Not really. I can say that it has improved. Okay, it improved in many sides. Okay, but there are few, and they do not serve our needs, and they do not satisfy our needs.
So basically, I think that the major issues that youth are facing, and responding to your question, is that talented youth are not being appreciated and used in their home countries. Like for example, we have so many genius and talented young students back home, which come up with some really creative projects, but they are not getting appreciated from the government. So they try to get the fund. They try to do the step, but there's no reply, which is up with them. Even in the countries, in countries places like England, like France, etc. I'm talking about an example of Algeria. I have too many friends that I had before who were in Algeria, who were very creative, very hardworking, but they ended up leaving the country and working in France. So I think the government needs to take a great step in appreciating young students and young talents, just to nourish them and take a step forward to the development of the country.
I guess they should appreciate you as a human first. Yeah? They should appreciate you as a human first before appreciating you as a student or a clever or smart student or a person.
I just want to add to my next point that we have some decisions regarding to Maslow's pyramid of needs. So you have basics, there is some basic needs.
That you provide for your pets. Why don't you provide it for humans?
So the main point is the people who's guiding the revolutions are the educated people. But however, the mainstream is uneducated, and people who's like, how can I say, art people, we call them alam. Okay, those people are not very educated to know what's right or what's good, what's not right. So they are following just like the famous people. So we have to reach the education, but before education, we have to cover the rest of the needs before we get to the education. So people have to cover many essential needs, then to have education. So education will make a peaceful evolution in thoughts, not industries. So I think we have to, the main problem is essential needs to reach the education, which is the main problem.
Okay, there is a search number back there. You can identify yourself first.
John Farmer, I'm just an interested member of the British public. Often young people who are educated young people who are a positive force for change, as we've seen recently, for example, Hong Kong. So I strongly encourage you in what you're doing. They make, however, two constructive points. First is that we try to learn from successful protest in non-Arab countries, particularly the former communist countries of Eastern Europe. And secondly, that you try to enlarge your focus to encompass not just youth, but other sectors of the community. To some extent, illustrating both points is a very interesting film made in Germany and called The Humanities Church, depicting events in Leipzig for East Germany before the fall of the Berlin Wall. It was shown here in 2009, the 20th anniversary of the Goethe Institute, which might be very funny, but it depicted St. Nicholas Church, which held a weekly, entirely peaceful protest meeting in the church itself, open to all. And they just came, sat in the church, and disseminated more practical advice on how they might peacefully protest and how they might react to arrest. For example, when we were bundled into the police van, we would call out how many people were in there, so that people would know. And the film also depicts a demonstration of 75 confronted by the People's Police, backed up by the army. And the demonstrating crowd was chanting, "We are the people," which is a direct focus to the People's Police. And it was successful. The police and the supporting army realised there was nothing they could do, and they participated. As to my second point, involving other sections of the community, we have been part of the US by the Arab Spring, the term was coined, possibly the Arab countries already there. But demonstrations in, for example, Egypt, attracted a lot of sympathy. But I would urge you to try and broaden your appeal and link with older members of the community, and that, I suggest, will give you greater weight.
I think I will decide to take this opportunity to take the moderator to talk, because I found the parallel with the Central European countries and the Soviet Union countries particularly not helping. And I'll tell you why, especially Eastern Germany. Because the main reason I think that if the Arab Spring was a failure, it was mainly in economic terms. It was maybe a political success in some countries. It might have been a social and cultural success, and the Europe demonstration was to a certain extent a social and cultural success, but was by all means almost everywhere an economic failure. And the fact that you had, especially in Eastern Germany, you had economic alternatives. I mean, the economic alternative of Eastern Germany was West Germany. And that was one of the reasons why it was successful, is that West Germany took over East Germany and increased the interest rates to the extent that we even had a crisis in Europe because of this, because the currency crisis in the monetary system. So this is not happening, and it will not happen in the Middle East. There is no economic alternative. I mean, there is no one who's going to go and rescue them. It's not West Germany coming and rescue Egypt or Tunisia, and this is a real problem, and this spills over on mental health, on political terms. I mean, I think if I may say something, and I wrote, this is a book that I wrote, I think one of the reasons why in Egypt we had a change of regime, because it was clear that economically, after a very, very limited time, it was clear it was an economic failure that was happening. Not sure this is the economic success of the regime, but it's getting better. I mean, there is nothing to say about that. It's just getting better. And economically, Egypt and Tunisia wasn't so much, but we still are struggling, and not to talk about the other countries, not to talk about Libya. That we don't even mention it because the disaster is evident. So I don't think that making any comparison to the Central and Eastern European countries, especially if you take the closeness to Europe and the fact that Europe was there to help and actually take over most of those countries, not all of them, helps in any ways the Middle East. There is, for me, no parallel.
With very great respect, I'm puzzled by what you said.
Yeah, please.
Because I think you suggested that West Germany rescued East Germany. It did not.
It did. I mean, there was a it did. I'll tell you how it is. I mean, for the amount of money that they needed to print, I'm talking about Deutschmarks, they had to increase the interest rates so high that was considered one of the reasons why the European monetary system collapsed. And I'm not the only one to say that. I mean, it's something that is being said by the majority of economists and political economists who work on the EMS. And one of my other specialties is the EMS and the EMU. So I can tell you that the Bundesbank actually did help big time the reunification of Germany, however you want to call it. At that stage, it was not anymore East Germany. It was Germany.
I respect the suggestion that you had an indigenous protest throughout Eastern Europe, which eventually led to the collapse of communism.
When you have an economic alternative, it's easier in a way than when you don't. Sorry,
I would concur with the gentleman that brought the Monday demonstrations in Eastern Germany came prior to West Germany rescue. The fact that the alternative was provided was helpful, but it was not a recognition for the protests to stop. So I would agree
in Tunis. Why? Because we have religious fundamentalism. We have oil. We have incompetent leaders like Maliki. Since 2006, what can he do for Iraq? Mismanaged. We have really poor leaders, and I can honestly tell you that sometimes when I work in the Middle East, sometimes I can say I'm ashamed to be from there right now, but I study, I work, and all my life is devoted to this area for recruitment.
Okay, there are a couple of reactions. There, down there, there are so many people. Now you two, you with your hands up. You people, yeah. First, Marcus, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I mean, cycling is very important in this is our voice program. So, what I'm really hearing is methods to cope with problems, no methods to change and bring solutions. And I mean, this sort of concept that the professor has
and it's one of the sins that we all commit right now. When we said that it succeeded, we meant that it kind of succeeded politically in Egypt, for example. But as if for Egypt, as you guys said, absolute failure. Horrific, horrendous, absolutely. You cannot claim that it succeeded in Egypt. Another point that everybody started running for cover was Islam mission. Well, that was practiced by the political side that was not considered by the people to be the Islamic representatives of the Islamist politicians. And I was one of the people, I'm not here like, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I'm simply saying that this is one of the techniques used by the liberal parties in order to campaign for their own interests. So you cannot blame the people for this, because the people do not want to convert. And the people who do not care about capitalism and socialism, the people care about reform. So whoever's going to use reform or the illusion of reform, that's what's happening right now in Egypt, is going to be shaken up.
I think you are the teacher.
First of all, to speak on a point that the gentleman said about it, I will give you a live example about peaceful protest in Jordan, which not work. It's happened before 1 month. The teachers in Jordan just got out working in schools just to ask for their basic rights, for their salaries, and extra for their social issues. After 1 week of the protest, the government announced that all the teachers who apply for the civil service, we will accept them if you, the right teacher who is working, not going back to their works. And we will start filling applications to work. Okay? People didn't support this protest because they are suffering already. So you have, as I regarded my speech before, you have to fulfill their needs before you ask them to do anything regarding to this mess. This is the thing. Moving swiftly on to the point of gentlemen. I'm not supporting, but I want to say something neutral. We saw in the artwork that the outcomes of the democracy in Egypt and Tunis comes with Islam. Okay? With my Islam. However, they Muslim brothers in Egypt and the other one in Tunis. So, and somehow people want it and don't want it. They want it because they looking backward to their the golden ages, how Islam running the Arab region perfectly, but they forget that people are not ready to run Islam spaces. On the other hand, the people who now say that we are Muslims, that they are not applying Islam. They are applying their political needs and political perspectives in the name of Islam. This is why it's not working. Thank you.
First, I want to address the point
Yeah, maybe identify yourself. Yes, slightly easy now.
just the most communist, anti-communist revolutions, they tend to incorporate by involving older generations. The difference is that in the Arab world, the youth segment of the population is massive, massively proportionally greater than the country. And also there's no cultural figure, there's no Ottoman Empire where, the leader saying, no, the armies are going, and the armies of these states were very much civilian controlled armies, which is not the case in the rest of these countries. Where the civilian states are lying, the army steps in, and that's what we see in Egypt. To your point about Islamic or Islamist government, the fact is, as far as I remember, that in the election of Morsi's power, and I'm not arguing Islamics, but in those circumstances, you can't make any right. So, although I believe this solution will break the government, but even if you do believe that, the fact is that the majority of most of these countries, doesn't appeal or doesn't work on that sort of level, and to then expect that to be in the government, for alternatively changing the institution is what fundamentally is the barrier.
Thank you very much.